And welcome back to the LEC ahead of our second game of the day as we see GX. Oh my god, Jackie's not been that violent, but yeah, he's fired up and ready to take on Fnatic. GX needs more win to get to playoffs. Oh my god, Marek Brazda, what are you doing? Wow. That's going to be a spicy mid lane matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, those stairs right now just reminds me of old, like, it wasn't Wicked, was it Snoopy? I can't remember who it was. They're always staring at the camera, but again, kind of gave me the same vibe. But yes, exciting matchup.
Yeah, and following up on what we were saying in Reddit check, I want to talk about the bot lane, and especially Fnatic's bot lane, because Odo, Upset, the only player in the LEC who can make Kalista work. How is he doing it?
It's the typical Upset champion, because everyone's like, oh, he's a KDA player and everything, but right now he's a KDA player in the best possible way. Right now with the Kalista and the Rel, they enable each other so well, and he's just jumping forward, knows very well the limits of his champion, is not afraid of taking damage, and he's just collecting kills left and right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it kind of helps as well that it's with former teammates where he's seen their growth as well. He kind of already have this pre-built trust in them now, where he's actually having so much confidence. I can't remember the last time I saw Upset playing like this, and I'm not just talking about this Kalista, I'm also talking about his Ezreal, where he's up in their face, he's feeling himself, and he's willing to make the mechanical outplay, and it's been a joy to watch so far.
Plays into what Mikyx was saying with the fact that they get along super well, they understand each other on the Rift, and that's what you want to see from an ADC support synergy, but also I'm really surprised to see them work, given that they've been playing for such a long time. And Odo, you know how difficult it can be when you have strong opinions on the game to make them work like this.
Well, it does seem like their opinions match each other, because we saw Mikyx int, you know, but most of the time we see Mikyx doing crazy plays, and I just think with Upset it's a match made in heaven. They complement each other so well, because Upset is the kind of guy that talks a lot, keeps his support in check, while Mikyx is the one who kind of wants to get off the reins.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that match made in heaven, because Noah can't be here without Jun, and that's what we're talking about. The potential solution today versus the so-called problem in the bot lane. And it's not like Noah and Jun hasn't been popping off either, because I think Jun was one of the best supports that we've seen in the LEC so far. I think Noah as well has refound that confidence that he clearly lost in the earlier splits. And his Ezreal, I keep bringing it back, like both of them actually are feeling it. But I remember him in between Nexus turrets and outer turrets alone, just chasing down people by himself. You really just saw how much and how free he felt.
And it reminds me right now of the time when he came on Fnatic, because if everyone remembers, he had these 2-3 weeks of crazy KDA, not dying. It was always the mini game. Will Noah die today? And he never did. And right now on GX, it does feel like he found this sort of confidence again. Is this low pressure environment, going away from the Fnatic prestige organization that is always expected to win. And right now he has a little bit more of a chill environment where he can ramp up and find himself, especially alongside June.
Less pressure and yeah, revamped synergy, I feel, within GX. Let's see if it's going to be enough for them to beat their former team. GX versus Fnatic. Casters, take it away.
And it will be a good one, won't it? Because GIANTX and Fnatic at the top of the table. GIANTX with a win to get playoffs. Fnatic with a win to move themselves up and define their split to be the best. The problem versus the solution. I like that from GB.
Yeah.
That starts now. Azir, Poppy gone. Skarner already taken off the board as well.
Yeah, I think as well for Fnatic, though, I do want to see them kind of win this game cleanly, because I do still think they are one of the top teams in our league. But like when you look back at like their game against BDS, their game against Rogue, they actually end up losing some of those early games and then having like their phenomenal team fighting and relying on players like Upset and Mikyx to pull them back into it. But I think I want to see just a strong, clean early game from them that leads into that late game and start to get that consistency into their gameplay.
While Kai'Sa's taken away, I like that consistent point. We want to see the best parts working together. As I mean, this is also a nice takeaway from Razork.
But I was going to say Maokai's open, which I thought would have been the better version, to be honest. Because Vi, even back when they were still trading all the like Sejuani's, Vi's, and Maokai was kind of the one that came out on top. Because if you engage on Vi, Maokai just slams the R button, and the rest of your team gets CC'd, so you don't really get to play. So yeah, Oscarinin even went a little, let's go. I think he realized that he was going to get to select the Maokai. So so I think like Maokai taken here, fantastic. The question now is, do you want to take the Ezreal as well? Looks like it might be the Corki, but I think Ezreal, good shout if you want to, just to say, hey, that's the other kind of premier AD carry that is there. Well, it looks like they're going to take the Corki for themselves instead.
Woo! Corki fans unite. Well, for Upset Dagda, and I'll question you because before my program wasn't working, this is the first Upset Corki, but it is a flex. I mean, Humanoid's pulled this out before. We know in EU, some teams are willing to flex it around. So not defined just yet, as it looks like GIANTX want to lock in their AD carry at least for a response and give Noah a bit more playmaking.
Yeah, I'm curious actually if you end up as Fnatic rounding out your composition with a pick for Oscarinin here in the top side, maybe something like the Jayce, and then you can always opt in towards like the Zyra Khan, I think, for Mikyx and for Upset, because especially when you've got the Y on the opposite side, having something that has that self-peel tool is just really, really nice. Also, it does relatively well into being able to farm up if you want to play into that Ezreal, but Aurora going to be taken here. So that's definitely something we've seen a lot of over in like the LCK and the LPL. Has that flex potential as well, can go top, can go into mid. So I think that's where we'll be waiting to see exactly what the game plan is here. But looks like for Fnatic, honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of going for the Kai'Sa here. I think holding that Corki flex is actually more vital here, but now they're just going to go back towards it again.
Dagda, you're not going to believe me when I say this, but is this our first Aurora? You'd think surely not. I've just been watching LPL, LCK over and over. I know it's been banned a couple of times. It's actually been banned 6 times. It's never been picked.
No pick.
What?
Yeah, kind of crazy, because it is still a very, very strong champion.
Wow. Okay, so first Aurora for GIANTX. I never thought I'd be saying that. A lot of people globally would be like, yeah, who cares, it's just Aurora.
Yeah.
But in EU, a very different feel. As, and you also labeled that.
But if we're going more to the LCK style of draft, does that mean we get a Nivea top soon? Is that how this works?
A Nivea top on 4, thoughts? How does Lot feel about that one?
I think there's a lot of emotions.
I mean, I'm just going to say it. I watched that game back. That Nivea did next to nothing. It had no control.
He was trying his damnedest to flash in, make things work, but, but look,
he had to.
But still, anyway, I don't think we'll be getting a Nivea this game. I think we'll be looking more at some sort of engage tool like a Rel being picked up here on this bottom side. So I think the Galio is basically GIANTX saying, hang on, you can still look for that Galio in the support role for Mikyx. We want to try and go for the Rel. Whereas now with the Braum and the Rakan banned out, basically Fnatic are saying, we are going to take Rel. Are you going to ban it? And it's kind of a case of, hey, I think just ban the Rel. And just now, Mikyx, I think, can go towards something that's a little bit funky, like the Alistar or a Leona. Probably the Leona. And then, okay, actually Nautilus there as well, for that point and click. And then you can take the Alistar on the opposite side into the other answer.
But you mentioned support, and it's good here as well, because I was just thinking, I'm like, what if Oscarinin goes to something like the Rumble, right? What if we get that AP? But AP jungle here, mixed damage for Kai'Sa, engage now set up. GIANTX, one of the only few supports left and available. as they're also looking for their top lane here. And Ambessa is something we haven't actually seen yet. Oh, we have seen in the LEC. Not today so far, and hasn't been thought about in this draft. Would also complement some of the skirmishing nature is that Alistar needs to be locked in.
Yeah, so the Alistar is going to be taken. You're going to be very fine to go ahead with that. Now the question is, what is going where? And I think this is why we're kind of waiting to see where this Aurora was going before Oscarinin locked in as champion. So they are going to send the Aurora, it looks like, into the mid lane. Not going to go with the Jax. I think then, is it just going to be something like the Gragas for Oscarinin if you go towards the Jax? Jayce is also something that I wasn't sure if you wanted to answer with for Oscarinin. So they're actually going to try and take the Jayce away with a feeling like they have enough engage. And now, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what Oscarinin wants to answer with here.
I guess that Ambessa, what, the last top lane left open, unless you want to play something like an Ornn.
Yeah, I think you're going to get bullied either way, so maybe you're just going to look for the lane swap instead. But I think Oscarinin honestly had a great performance on the Ambessa when he played it last time.
Yeah.
Was getting some sick engages off to really set themselves up for some plays from his, especially when they're playing from a deficit too. So I think, yeah, I like what both sides are bringing out. I think they've got good answers into each other. And you've got a lot of lanes that you can look to play around on both sides. So honestly, I think there's going to be a barn burner that just comes down to these team fights.
Let's hope, because GIANTX Fnatic ain't a pushover. This is a top of the table matchup. GIANTX will be our 4th team in playoffs today if they find this win. Fnatic, as I said before, move closer to the 6-1 mark. Move closer, they'll just be there. And when they are, they'll have 2 series left remaining. And a lot of people who came in will start thinking they're right when people were saying Fnatic would be the best team of winter. I know, Dagda, you were mentioning it. I know a lot of other people out there have been saying the same thing. With the roster change, everyone was like, this is going to be Fnatic's year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have kind of seen Fnatic rise up to the top. There's a lot of talk about what's happening in scrims.
Yep.
I think for me, though, like, this is still a team that I have a huge amount of faith in, but I just want to see those cleaner early games, because watching back a lot of their games is, you know, against BDS, they fell behind. That was the 1-1-3 Nidalee game where he was able to get that early lead, and then Fnatic had great team fights to come back later. And it's the same when you look at kind of 2 or 3 of the games they had where they do tend to fall behind, but it is that stellar team fighting that brings them back. For me to really fully believe in this team to take over, I want to see that clean early game that they can then snowball into those great team fights and leverage that.
Which might come from this, because Oscarinin's baiting that it is a solo lane, top lane, but Mickey and Upset are sitting here waiting. How sus is Lot? Is he like, hang on a minute, bot hasn't shown? Nice, really smart from Lot.
I do think there was about 15 missing pings on the bottom side, so I think they knew something was up and available. But yeah, I mean, not trading nicely, knowing that Mickey can't really do anything. So you are going to have to burn Oscarinin's TP now to get back into this bottom side to make sure you catch the wave. I'm actually just going to walk, so no, I'm not going to push that hard. I think the fact that Jun now is off the wave says to me that we're going to try and send Jun top. So they're looking for this very quick dive from Fnatic, but I don't know if they're going to be in a position to go for it before the the Alistar gets there.
Razork flashes immediately. Well, it doesn't matter because he gets a Bramble Smash shielded Durant, and Lot's just dead. Great combo, and Fnatic not afraid to pull the trigger.
Yeah, fantastic read from Fnatic, but do we get something on the opposite side is now my question, because Closer is there, still level 1 for Oscarinin, but I think, yeah, wave isn't big enough, so nice job from Fnatic. They read that Jun was going topside, but were able to get him out of position. Now, Lot, I think, might have to TP back to this top wave so we can get there. But do they try and go for a repiece? As Razork, I think, should hit, 3 on this next camp. If I'm right, yes. So do they try and go for that? But even Razork's a bit low, so it looks like, Fnatic just going to back off instead.
He will get a bit of healing from the passive and being in jungle, but my biggest question is, you're right. Will he be able to get anything from the level up as well to give confidence? Lot has Jun by his side now as well, as Razork's just going for another camp, so maybe not thinking about it for now, as level 2 is hit by Upset and Mickey. Jun is hit level 2 as well, but Lot is still just sitting here without anything to combo.
Yeah, I think you're fine, though, as Fnatic, with this being the case, because you've got that early kill on towards the Kai'Sa, which is fantastic. You're going to get that full topside jungle, now move back into your own. And Ambessa isn't really being set behind that much. Sure, she hasn't been able to CS, but you see she's got a full level lead over Lot. And this is what we've seen a lot of teams go for, is if you have a Jayce in the enemy team, just focus him. He's just not that useful if he doesn't get to go. Now, you can still go for that tank build, but you still kind of want those leads as a Jayce.
Yeah. And as my ears are ringing, because you were like, yeah, getting a kill on Upset is good early, especially since the analyst stats were talking this guy up massively. Oh, what a surprise. We have something prepared about how good he was up only last week.
I mean, Upset's been insane. The desk kind of highlighted as Noah going to get
great kiting.
taps.
Hang on a minute.
Wait.
Noah just E'd. Ooh, yo. But I guess Oscarinin, long cooldowns early on Ambessa. Don't get your hopes up here as he's on a ward. He's still quite low. He's got the pot ticking, but GIANTX have support. This was what was called the problem. That's Noah who now needs to get forward and get into an arcane shift, but he doesn't have it on cooldown yet. And he won't flash for the Q. So Oscarinin out with his own flash.
Yeah, but now the Razork's on the top side.
Would interrupt.
GIANTX needs to get out of here.
Upset has Berserker Greed. He's going to get that second skin passive immediately. And Razork now trying to zone out. Is going to pick a target onto Jun, who flashes away, but enables Rail Smash. And one person's dying here. Who's it going to be? As Mickey steps up, goes forward, can't get the trade kill. Upset with a second skin. And let's be clear. This is the dude who now has 2 kills.
Upset is popping off in the LEC this split. He's been majorly aggressive in team fights, flashing forward where he needs to on Kai'Sa's, and now 2 kills already on this Kai'Sa. This man is going to be huge in this game with the setup that he has.
This lane swap working wonders here as GIANTX. We look at how they got concaved.
Yeah, and Jun tries his best here, like flashes underneath the tower, then gets the knockback. But they just don't have enough in the tank to actually keep the Maokaii there. And then Mickey, even with that third shot, barely survives. And Locke can't go forward because he ends up dying in the end if he does. So he has to retreat. And as Oscarinin TP'd back to bot, he's now only extending the lead that he has for himself in the XP levels between the top lane.
You see GIANTX are getting antsy now. I mean, with that top lane lead, or rather AD carry lead, trying to invade and flip the map a little bit here, and that's what they've done, sending Ezreal top, but now Upset just mismatches the lane, walking towards bot where Mickey's already standing. Now with the recurve bow as well, this 2v1 will continue.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what... Yeah, Razork's just going to go get some vision for 1, Dragon, 2, camps, and 3, a potential play on towards the Jayce again. So they're going to try and look for Jayce. They're moving Jun down to answer for this, but now Razork spots him, doesn't have any cooldowns, just use them on towards the Krug, so it will just be Locke trying to pick up a fairly big wave under tower, but I don't know if he's going to be allowed to.
It's a big question, isn't it? I mean, Razork, how are we the XP bar? He's only just hit level 5, so nothing to talk about with the ulti as the poke's already come through. His flash is being reminded by Dagda here as the Twisted Advance is what I'm waiting for. He Bramble smashes, looking to juggle aggro. There's the engage. Mickey takes it. Razork tanks it and now tries to get away and does so. Onto the minion, by the way. So that's an easy juggle. It's a double that goes to Mickey. But hard work deserves a hard reward.
Look, bot lane is about the 2 of you. You're in this together. If Upset gets 2 kills, Mickey gets 2 kills. When Jake sings, there's not a hope I'm going to sing, but it does mean you end up with more turret plates, and Jayce being sent further behind again. Now, Void Grubs were taken by Vi, but I don't think it matters, and this was just great execution. So Razork uses the sapling to start it off, get the slow, literally walks up, just knows that at this stage his flash is off cooldown. He's always got that Twisted Advance to try and get away from this. And Jun tries to go for the nice timing on the knock-up, but just barely messes it up, so you don't get the CC long enough to follow through.
Good buffer. Oscarinin now looking for his path out, but is he in trouble? Good trample as well from Jun, and all they need is a shot. And there you go. Problem becomes a solution for the GX 2v1.
Yeah, definitely needed something back for GIANTX there. You can see even with the 2 kills, Noah's still at least able to keep it in touching distance. Like, only less than 200 gold is actually pretty nice for them, but it's only going to get worse because you can see here, level 4 on loss. He's behind the support on experience.
Yep.
And Mickey having ticked over to that level 5, I think Lotta's just like, can we please stop believing me, please?
I mean, Mickey's going to be tankier so much earlier as well. And Leona damage, nothing to froth at. As EU will know, back in the Misfits days. I think, still think about Fervor of Battle, by the way. Do you remember that? Well, Game 4, Game 5, quarterfinals. Misfits versus SKT. I still, and that's when my Leona battles began myself. As out of the way from Hun, Summer, and Igna, we look at Mikyx, who, again, already mentioned, quite tanky. He's going to help up with Dragon as Fnatic take this and balance out the first objectives of the game. Grub's already taken by GX earlier on. But now Dragon's going to drop. Closer can't get in there, even with his ulti. Fnatic are now on the board too.
Yeah, I think the question is, what do Fnatic now do? Because this wave has hit him bot side, so do they want to try and go for the 2v2 lane and just match it with feeling Ambessa is now in a position with the like 3-level lead, kind of 2 and a bit level lead that she has, that she can just bully loss?
Well, I guess so. I mean, Oscarinin. Oh, Jesus. Levels matter a lot in League of Legends, and so do 3-pointy swords. As Oscarinin again keeps zoning him out, and yeah, the this is the thing about lane swaps I think we don't talk about because we always look at what's going on ahead of us. But because Oscarinin got so much more time, as you were talking about with the experience, this is an impossible lane for Lot.
Yeah, it just doesn't get prettier. So it looks like Fnatic are just happy to match this. You do have a minute until Void Grub, so I wasn't sure how much they wanted to go for. Hey, let's push bot, try and then go for the mismatched lanes once more. But
who made this champion?
But like his public execution's up very, very soon. Like you have to be incredibly careful as loss. Public execution CC into a full combo, you are dead.
The guillotine in public, in front of everyone. Lot right now just hoping he can gather the experience as best he can. You know he's thinking about
He's
it,
in
right?
death range, yeah. Lot needs to be very quick on the flash trigger here. You can see Oscarinin trying to hide out of vision, not to let him know.
Kill. Where, when, how, Dagda? These are all the questions I have about this dive coming up.
Well, there's Vi in behind Lost, so I don't think with Closer there, you can actually go for this play as Oscarinin. Lot, if he steps up, okay. Yeah.
0 damage.
But again, like, look at the resets now. So you've already got Fnatic that are resetting to move back to the bot lane. Lot is probably going to have to match this, but maybe it's just Oscarinin able to move down to bottom side because the Closer's reset, so they're not going to try and contest this Void Grub change. May just try and go for the dive and the punish on Oscarinin. So he's TPing now. Point and click CC and Closer. There's a potential here for GIANTX to dive the top laner. Even Lot's coming down.
With everything up and available, though, I still just wonder, Oscarinin, it feels like this is the kind of the case you take someone with him as well. Clears out the wave nice, good lats right here. The Drakehound step continues bopping him around, and remember, at this point as well, Oscarinin, cooldowns aren't actually as much as they used to be.
You also don't have the level 6 for Jun. They need one more wave for that. So, yeah, Mikyx now going to try and stop him from moving in.
Side step, really nice. Shield of Duran slows down the play, and Oscar spotting this out. I mean, they're still turning it into a dive. There's a big minion wave here to deny. Oscar's going to try and get it as he tries to survive as well. There's the ulti and lands all the way to Kai'Sa. Mikyx's here to help out. Oscar flashes away, but solar flare. Mikyx, you're so fine. And Oscar wants to make you mine. A trade under Kai'Sa. No, with the shot ramping up, no one takes a bit as well. Mikyx's now stuck under 3 members. But where does it go from here? GIANTX asking the question. I'm pondering it. Mikyx's thinking about it. They just want the turret so that then he's a dead man. It's a demolish, it's a proc, it's a flash. Mikyx's away while it is a race for first turret. GIANTX have won that battle.
But Jackie's died in the mid lane on that fight as well. Plus, you're about to lose the top tower. So yes, you do get the tower quicker on that bottom side, but Fnatic are about to answer. But it was looking a little dicey on that bottom side. So the big things to note coming into that dive was that Jun was still level 5. So they desperately wanted that next wave to hit so they could kill it, get Jun to level 6, have that unbreakable will for the dive, and he can tank that tower for significantly longer. And that was kind of why we got to see that work out, that GIANTX could actually kill under that tower because the Alistar was able to tank so much more damage.
I mean, again, held out so much time. I think it's brilliant to see. I'm not sure what this pause is. It is a Fnatic pause. Everyone at home, as you can see on the bottom of your screen, there's audio issues of some kind. Maybe it's Ambessa related. That champion is so broken. I love the Cassante Ambessa lanes. Just feels like right be right. But yeah, really need to learn that champ.
Yeah, Ambessa is, well, it's stuff like that, right? So like she's so much mobility that when you try and go for the dive, you lock her up under tower as Jun and you're like, yeah, I've got her. And then she just goes, wee, straight past you and immediately jumps on towards Closer. And you're like, well, I guess I tried in this situation. Yeah. So we'll do our best. But it does mean that then when you've got follow-up from Mikyx with a great solar flare, you can actually turn around some of these plays.
Now, I'm not sure if, while we're in the pause here, at some point we're looking at crowd shots. Someone came around with a Noah versus Jun graphic. I'm just going to call it graphic. A sign. Yeah, let's call it a sign. And Mikyx versus Upset. And it was some really ingenious artwork. Maybe it's not safe for air. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. I can't remember what was on it.
It just said who's going to win.
Oh, really? I didn't know if the
says
pictures
who
were
wins.
bad.
You just put a line as to who you think is going to win.
I can't remember what I've seen. I look at it and I go, wait, maybe there's a reason.
Maybe you should get that checked. Yeah. You know what?
Right, memory of a goldfish back in action. 2.5k goldie for Fnatic in this early game. And we're going to get a replay of this dive. Yeah. No, we're going to get a replay of mid.
Oh, Jackie's just gets destroyed by Humanoid.
Or is it?
Oh, he missed the Q as well. That was... That was questionable from Jackies.
I'm sorry, that phosphorus bomb, to be fair, did a lot of damage.
Yeah, but look, here's the dive, right? So they're trying. Jun goes forward so that then he can get the wave with Closer to hit level 6.
Yep.
Then he's the one that's tanking up with the Unbreakable Wheel. There's the public execution to jump onto Closer to buy that space. And then watch the Solar Flare here. So immediately on towards the Jayce underneath the tower. So he ends up falling then. And then they're nearly able to turn around. No, actually picking up an extra third shot when he wasn't meant to. But Jackies...
Trouble again.
Do they? I think they're okay. With 3 people, I don't think Fnatic can do this. So yeah, they're just going to back away and use Upset to get back mid, so then he can defend the mid lane tower. But yeah, you can see Fnatic, like, they are very quickly trying to capitalize on these winning side lanes and just overload. And it's very difficult for GIANTX to match because they just don't have control, really.
So as Jackie sits in the side wave, I want everyone to pay attention to the fact that we got Dragon spawning in 15 seconds. He is in the right side of the map, hence having no TP. And I'm looking towards top lane as Locke can join in. Oscarinin has to start walking down now. As Fnatic are just looking through priority in these waves, maybe an opportunity to get someone. As Noah's right on a ward, perfect execution.
Oh, we got him.
Public, and yeah, easy as that, isn't it? Noah's dead. Upset gets the kill credit, and this is how strong Ambessa is. As long as you land the button, there's one from Closer in return. He's running for his life, trying to lacerate his way out of this one, but it becomes a trade. Top laner for AD carry down. Nature's grasp. Isengard's left. I don't know what's on the right, but back to the Shire, apparently, as Mikyx sends a Solar Flare. 2 strange ults from Fnatic, but the damage has been done to make sure they start this Dragon first.
Yeah, they will still go over towards the Dragon, so nice job on the pause.
Oh, Fnatic.
Jun, actually, to give him credit, played that fight incredibly well. He used Ambessa as a taxi service to get access to Upset, so flashed it on, get the headbutt, so the pulverize, so then he couldn't actually follow up on any of the damage that was coming out. So nicely done there, but it does mean then you're kind of flashed us, and then I don't know what happened with Fnatic ults. They kind of just went, yeah, we're gonna throw that one, and then maybe Mickey did nail Jackies with the Solar Flare, but it was just kind of like the guy's under tower.
Got him.
There's no one nearby. It's more about sending a message, I suppose, in that case.
I'll land it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
GIANTX's time, by the way.
If I had teammates, you, buddy, were in trouble.
Oh.
And that's basically...
me particularly?
Yeah, no. Well, that's kind of the mentality I go into every solo queue game with. Yeah. It's just, if I had decent teammates, I would have a better win rate.
Do you know...
Mostly because they need to carry me.
Speaking of support, you know, today I had a very good day, by the way. 6 wins in a row.
Oh.
Volibear support.
Oh, no.
Fiddlesticks support. Oh, yes. But my point in transition is, I don't know why there's a pause for GIANTX, but I need you all to know that I had a very good day. And today has been a very good day, because ending with our cast of GIANTX Fnatic before Medic comes on. And who's Medic casting with today? Who we got joining in?
I assume Vetty.
Vetty? He didn't say hello to me, so if it is, I'd be very upset.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been following.
Potential bug about this one, by the way.
Okay.
Investigation is ongoing, so this is not an audio issue.
I did notice it a little bit where I thought the arcane shift would still go off with the public execution. I don't know if that's what it was, but it did look a little funky to me.
Because the buffering on that is interesting, because arcane shift can buffer like Vial, right? If you get it at the right point.
But it went off, but he still stood in the same place because of the public execution. So I'm not too sure exactly how that interaction works. I want it
because... Yeah. I mean, I guess, it might be Noah then. We're just speculating. We'll get a proper answer for you once we know what's going on.
Because I can see how, like, Ambessa holds you in place. You kind of get brought back. But, we're just speculating. We'll have to wait and see. But
we're what?
Speculating.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes Irish, I don't understand. I hear you speak and I just don't understand it. Yeah, surely you think the same with me.
I had this conversation with my mom and my sister earlier.
Yep.
And I was like, the biggest problem that I have is having to say, how are you?
Yep.
Because in Ireland, you just say, how are you?
How are you?
And it all just blurs into one word. So, like, you becomes and then the word, it's just how are you? And it's like, it doesn't actually sound like itself. No, and everyone also responds to me when I say it. So, in Ireland, if someone says, how are you? You just respond with, how are you? And no one actually answers the question. It's basically just become hello. Yeah. So every time I come here and I go like, how are you? And then someone responds, I'm like, oh, crap. We're not in a conversation.
Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I was like, oh, no, now I have to figure out how I am. And then that's a whole different kettle of fish.
See, I feel I resonate with the Irish because I think we've got our own kind of language as well. Like we'll say it's going on. It's going on. It's going on. You know?
Yeah.
And that'll be like, what's going on?
Yeah,
right?
and something to do with spiders.
Yeah. Well, they're everywhere, but you know, I like back home, right? I got the forest is the bush. Is the bush, right?
Yeah.
I live in the place where.
But why is it called? Because the forest is the trees, and then there is bushes in the trees.
Yeah.
So how did the forest become the bush?
You just think about where the snakes are. You know, you just think about that. I've just been told in my ear, sorry for the quick pause, that the game has resumed.
I will never find out the mysteries
maybe
of Australia.
Maybe it was the ulti as Skarnon with upset as we come back. He's in trouble. He just flashed out of a big circular vehicle known as Between Worlds. Now, Jackies didn't ride it, instead just left it out, and now Upset has got one summoner down.
Yeah, I mean, nice attempt by GIANTX on the mid wave. Also then opening up now for Lot to try and get some much needed go back and play up towards this top side. So I think overall, like, two nice quick plays from GIANTX to get some much needed go back for themselves.
Well, there's 1,500 still in the lead for Fnatic in this early game. The feat of strength has not been picked up by either side. 3 grubs apiece. Doesn't mean that, well, the advantage of objectives has already gone to Fnatic, so we're just waiting for that first turret, and the 3rd kill's already gone down, so we assume it was Fnatic who's actually already picked it up.
Yeah, I think the question mark for me now is how Fnatic want to try and play this, because I think putting Upset in the mid wave kind of works out best for you. I think Humanoid should be answering on the spot wave, but...
Jack. What?
Yeah, like... Well, nicely done, sorry, by Jackies, but at the moment, Fnatic have no real pressure on the map. Because if you look at this, you've got push here from Loss going in here. You've got at least a little push coming through on this top side, but that's going to be answered by Jackies. But you're now opening up for Lot to continue to push or to move around the map. Like, he's able to now join up and contest any sort of vision. You can also then shift the Ezreal up into a position where he can now match for the likes of these upcoming Rift Herald in 30 seconds. So you're kind of putting Humanoid now in a position where he has to burn the TP, whereas GIANTX don't have to. So I know it seemed like it was just so you could give the rev buff across the Upset, but I don't think that really should have been as big of a deal, because now both side lanes are in GIANTX's control, and Fnatic... Actually, Oscarinin might get dove on here with the closer ultimates.
There is good damage in return onto Jackies, who's by himself for now. As you said, closes in range of a Vault Breaker into a cease and desist, but Jackies is the one I'd be more worried about. If there's a perfect execution here, rather public, as Oscarinin now hits level 11, there's probably enough burst with Shield Bash that could do the job. As Herald now spawns, everyone moving up, and Dagda is setting us up for this. That Corki needs to get turret and TP. Yeah,
I don't know if they are going to TP, though, because Humanoid doesn't really have much mana. This is a dangerous one, and Upset not having flash leaves him very vulnerable, so I think it is just going to be give this one up. Yeah. Fnatic going to try and look for the mid lane turret just off of raw power instead.
And Oscarinin just burned the public execution behind on Jackies to try and get some kind of way in. Missed it, and Fnatic leave it at that. So Herald goes down. Tier 2 turret now under threat. That's the option here for Fnatic as they move down to make sure it's a smooth path. The minion wave is healthy enough, and with 3 grubs, Humanoid's got enough damage. 2 turrets for the trade. Ain't bad.
Can Fnatic get out, though? GIANTX starting to move in. Closer has that flash engage, and Upset still doesn't have his. Mikyx trying to play bouncer.
Tree Wizard gets knocked into. That's Jun. The cow follows up, but Ryan Flash here won't have anything more. There's cease and desist. Nature's Grasp defensively used. Look at Razork trying to save his support. Flash for Flash. They're closer. They get the chase. A shutdown into the ground as GIANTX took that chase. And they took it personally. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if GIANTX were just immediately going to move mid and try and break open that mid lane tower with the Rift Herald there as well. Try and punish the fact that you're now down that support and a ton of the engage tools on Fnatic. But it looks like they have to get Lot back to cover this top side instead. So it is just going to be a pick, but Tier 2 tower is a lot of gold that's gone over to the hands of Humanoid and Upset.
It really is. For GIANTX fighting an uphill battle still in this game. A little bit of a bug with the Spectator from my understanding, because I mean 3 kills have already been picked up, unless in the first turret has as well. I'm assuming feat of strength went over to Fnatic is irrelevant now because GIANTX are playing the chase in this replay.
Yeah, at this stage it's just Fnatic trying desperately to get away. Losing Mikyx isn't the end of the world because you're getting still Ambessa with more control over that top side. She's getting to push in. You got the tier 2 tower, which is a ton of extra gold, and you're getting away with a lot of free, well, you're getting away with mostly unscathed there, only losing Mikyx. Now Fnatic once more trying to set up on this bottom side. It does feel like they're not comfortable leaving Humanoid alone on this bottom lane, so Mikyx gonna have to come help.
Just got the Gatling gun in my ear. That's the real one this time. And I'm wondering here, as GIANTX still group around. Jackie's away. Into the portal he goes, and How much information does Fnatic have? Razork's now peeking in there, want a full-on fight. Mikyx goes into the choke, and they're going to put this all on the line. Upset needs to reposition as Mikyx is in the middle of 3 people, and he's just dead immediately. The poke lands from Upset, and he's thinking about going in. The public execution lands as well, and now Lot's just dead. Jacky's with the Between Worlds is big, though, but he's drawn the attention of Fnatic. Razork needs to survive for long enough, but as he dies, it is a trade for GIANTX in their favor. 3 for 2. They split the fight so well.
Yeah, immediately Fnatic go in because Mikyx thinks I can split up the fight enough that Razork can lock down Noah, and with Oscarinin coming, we can also try and kill Noah in the midst of that, but it's immediate cleanse. We get to see it here. Like, in theory, they want to try and split up the fight in this direction, and then they can go on towards Noah in this top side, but he immediately cleanses as Razork goes in, so ends up repositioning. Now Razork is actually out of the fight, and it just means the rest of GIANTX can focus on towards this bottom side. Oscarinin does end up getting on towards Lost, and they do get the turnaround, but now thinking, hey, we've got the numbers advantage, we can go for it. But Jackies finishes off Humanoid, and Razork hoping to set up for the re-engage here with 2 healthy carries, ends up falling too quickly, and then you just don't have anything to keep Noah locked up.
The pieces are pulling it apart, and Noah and Jackies are actually in a good spot here as Lot now teleports in, gets some poke down, not too much on Upset, but the Herald gets a charge. GIANTX are trying to bring the pace up. As 5 members move down into River, they want the Dragon, they want to stop Fnatic from getting this 3rd stack. Solar Flare is what shows that as Solar Flare after the fact, and Nature's Grass lines down the middle. True Shot Barrage doesn't do too much work, but look at this. Fnatic separated again at closest life, but Jun has to flash away because his ulti is seconds away from being up. GIANTX had that at one moment, but Fnatic, their poke is starting to reel it in.
Yeah, I mean, Mikyx goes in on towards Jun and is basically just playing as a scapegoat because they can turn on towards Closer, prevent him from really getting value from the ultimates, and there's just no way GIANTX can follow up on that engage. So now, Fnatic, Dragon, move over to Adakan. GIANTX starting to move down, but they don't have an Alistar, so it's going to be on
Jackies Between Worlds again onto Humanoid. The poke's there. He goes over, flashes, but Upset's got his number. Jackies drops to the ground. There's a killer instinct in Upset's eyes. And once again, the 80 carrier Fnatic is carrying this home. GIANTX on the retreat. Voracious Adakan taken. And Oscar now spinning like GIANTX's life depends on it. You give Upset the carry power and he'll take it all the way.
Jackies was flying around the fight and Upset said, that looks fun. I'm going to immediately kill you and then fly over to kill Noah as well. Adakan was picked up now. It looks like Fnatic, I mean, they are in such a good spot to close out this game. GIANTX are fighting hard, but there's just nothing they can do.
And again, Fnatic in this game got early couple of kills. We said it was great for Upset. We said it was great for Fnatic. We are now seeing in those fights what that early gold advantage meant, how Fnatic are using it in these drawn-out fights.
And fair play to Jackies, because you have to do something, with, especially when Adakan is this low, but doesn't quite get the kill, trade 1 for 1, and then Upset, just flies in. That final auto, despite the CC from Jun, ends up picking him off. Upset and Razork finish off the Adakan, and Oscarinin is just chasing GIANTX all the way home.
Nature's Grasp again. Jackies doesn't have the Between Worlds flash or anything, but he's too far away. He'll get rooted up, but it just zones away GIANTX and gives Fnatic free access to this tier 2 turret. Miniwave coming in, and that's just gone. And with the Adakan buff as well, Fnatic can play this mega aggro.
And I think that's one of the things that Razork has been great at with this Maokaii is those zoning ultimates, especially for the tier 2 towers, making it impossible to really defend. Now Noah trying to be between 2 lanes here, and Fnatic may not like that, as Oscarinin will get the first tower. How heavy are they going to commit to this?
Solar Flare, is it a bait? Or rather, Zenith Blade, excuse me. There's good poke coming out from Noah, but Mikyx flashes shield Durand.
Oh, that was
Public
so close.
execution was the setup from it as well. But it narrowly misses. The poke coming through as Fnatic are now trying to get away, but remember, they still have that buff. Upset is on a flank right now. The Between 2 Worlds are set on out as Fnatic are hard losing this one, as you'd expect. The cease and desist gets the final 600 gold and the debuffs away. As, I shouldn't say debuffs, they just lose the GA. Upset didn't want to go on the fight.
Great reaction speed from Noah at the start of the fight, though. Mikyx with the flash forward, and immediately Noah Arcane shifts away, so the public execution doesn't hit. It was a good attempt from Fnatic, but Noah just too quick for them. And it does mean that they've gotten the majority of those Adakan buffs off. I think Upset is the only one that still has it available for them. But with nothing on the map, it's not like Fnatic are really in a position to be punished for it, or even to get too much, even if they don't have the Adakan.
And after that as well, by the way, Upset went back, 3rd item picked up. He's got an Ashes in hand, so there's an upgraded W now available for this Kai'Sa. And Upset's damage, along with his poke, is He's going to be showing you why it's good to invest in this AD carry. He's 1,400 ahead of his counterpart. By the way, 1,900 is Humanoid ahead of Jayce's this game, despite Jayce's having these big picture ultis. Humanoid's just chilling.
I do like Fnatic though, just playing off of these two wave states. They drop top side, they drop bottom that last play and just continuously saying, hey, Oscarinin can take this. Now there again, these zoning ultimates on towards the tower, force you back. And they've already got the push on bot side. So Fnatic are just slowly but surely taking everything. And with a potential Hextech Soul now in a minute and a half, GIANTX have to do some real heavy lifting if they hope to get some more control back over the jungle.
They're getting schooled a bit here in this game, aren't they? Feels like Fnatic are really good at dotting their I's, crossing their T's in this mid game, and you wanted to see Fnatic and how they push a game, how they clean it up a bit as well, right? I think this is showing us quite a lot. They're set up around these turrets, using the Maokaii. I think when Razork is the fuel of this team and has been for a few years now, it feels like that's really what we're getting here in this mid game.
Yeah, and especially now that you have like Upset as fed as he is, but Mikyx, X-Flash over the wall, they're just going to try and kite it back. Razork still doesn't have ultimate, so GIANTX trying to play for that poke and play forward. Because if Mikyx is in a range, you're not really struggling, and Noah has that cleanse for any sort of solar flare. But Fnatic, Rupus 5 on mid, that dragon in 40 seconds, it's all about getting control, but Closer stuck his way in behind.
Solar flare doesn't connect either, an opportunity for GIANTX, cease and desist between worlds, and AoE paradise for Jayce, but he's stuck against the wall. He comes out of Invis, gets out eventually. His Humanoid is now just starting between, doing the rest. You thought it was perfect for GIANTX, but there's a little small man and a dog firing out guns! After calling the police, Fnatic say it was just our business. Jun and Razork swap spots. Razork is greeted, or rather Oscarinin is, by Jun, the mad cow over the wall. And all it takes is one more, but he's going to be out, while Fnatic, it just felt so good watching Humanoid.
That was so close for GIANTX. Like, I love the idea from Closer. Get in behind Upset, focus this Kai'Sa down, but they burn everything. Jun flashes in or goes in for the follow-up. Jayce ends up burning him out. And now you're kind of like, well, who has the rest of the damage? Like, Noah's actually in a good position here, but Humanoid is unleashed. Tear-throughs GIANTX on that top side. They managed to get on towards Noah here as well. And then at that stage, Lot, those levels, the 4-level difference on this Jayce versus Humanoid. Oh, they got
again. Set up for Upset. It's Mikyx who jumps in, and now with the second skin, Upset gets the first kill of the battle. And a battle it will be for GIANTX as they run away. Twisted advance with a Bramble Smash. Another one bites the dust. GIANTX left with 3. A Nature's Grasp again. Jun to block. Noah still hit. And Razork looking to fish a little bit more. He twists, he advances, he executes, sick. And Noah will not advance. GIANTX trying to poke away. They are getting good damage, but at the end of the day, Upset still stands. And the new Fnatic, God, it's hard to look at them without this gleeful trance.
Without a big smile on your face if you're a Fnatic fan. The combos, the synergy are there. Their team fighting looks sick. The early game in this one was fantastic. Fnatic making a statement here against GIANTX that there is a difference between 4-2 and potentially a 6-1 Fnatic.
Making a real big set out for Fnatic being the best team. And again, we're in our last week, but we're going to start thinking about who is the best. Fnatic fans really reeling it in. Remember, tomorrow they've got KC, SK on the last day as well. If they win this, if they beat KC, then Fnatic will be our best team.
Yeah, I mean, Movistar Koi were able to beat them on day one, but this looks like a different beast as GIANTX. Like, this was sick. Razork with the knockback, the immediate public execution. Mikyx to follow. He does give his life for it, but the follow is there. They managed to get on towards Jayce. And then Fnatic, they turn over towards the big purple worm. Now that Red Bull Baron power play is about to become very dangerous for GIANTX because they've got very little left on the map.
And the siege has just been so easy. We've been watching Fnatic walk up to these turrets and pushing GIANTX off actually quite easily. So now with Baron, it makes it so much easier as they've also got the Hextech Soul as well.
It's almost like you should first pick Maokaii.
Oh,
because he's really strong. He is, yeah. So now Razork going to be able to hit the OR button again. And then you got to run away from it. And now you get the tower. And there's just nothing really you can do.
The March of the Ents. Again, Jun straight into the ulti, public execution into the backline, and watch Upset go. They spiked it up so that he can smash it down. It's a double kill already. 3 members left standing, and all I'm going to do for you at home is watch Upset, who's getting kills fed into him. Close is going to be next up. It's Humanoid, who steals away the possible Penta. 5 members of Fnatic, although low, have 1 Nexus turret to go. Demolish in hand, and GIANTX will not stand. It's Noah who's going to get poked over and over again. Upset to clean it up, and this Fnatic clears all.
Fnatic are terrified. GIANTX had set themselves up as one of the teams to watch, as one of the teams that could contend for those top spots, and Fnatic never gave them a chance in this game.
They did not. And you can tell us how as you vote for your key player of the game at LEC on X, Razork, Humanoid, or Upset. That's a hard battle. But I do know that Fnatic has scaled into this split. I know that Upset is continuously scaling his bottom lane. And while at first, I know we had some concerns, we're wondering, like, what does Fnatic look like week by week? The appreciation week by week has gone up exponentially.
Yeah, I think it really is just trying to get that cleanliness, but this game was fantastic from him.
Absolutely fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope, because I know we're having interviews galore today.
Yep.
I do hope that we get to maybe talk with Upset. I can't remember who we talked with last week, but I want to know what's really fueling this team at the moment. I want to know where the development is going towards.
I mean, I was going to say, I think it's just pure anger and revenge for Fnatic that fuels them. Like, wanting to get past what happened in 2024, for Mikyx, like, finding a new team, for Upset, trying to beat back against all the haters. Like, I think this is a team that just has unbridled rage at everyone else. Good. And they're taking it out on them.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's what GB said on the desk. He said problem solution. Sorry. Yeah. Noah and Jun were the problem, apparently, and I think Upset and Mikyx are definitely a solution because it's working out wonders. You get the best support from the league historically in the past couple of years, and you get an AD carry who, you know, in Kai'Sa had a slow bloom, but that's because the team was suffering when he has individual skill, and Upset has proved it many times before. Right?
And I don't really think that Noah and Jun were the problem in that game, but there was just nothing.
But it's just a nice story.
Yeah.
It's a nice story. Ginny's now ready with Humanoid and Jackie's apparently as well, so we're going to hear from both of them and both sides of the tale after that game.
Thank you so much. Ginny here, and I'm joined with Jackie's and Humanoid, correct? Humanoid, congratulations on the win. Jackie's, sorry. But Humanoid, how does it feel going up against your Czech brother?
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good to win, so I can show my Czech dominance once again. I think he needs like maybe 1 more month, but in playoffs, it will be proven for you.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know why I said that.
You know what? He said you only need 1 more month, right? But you're so much younger than him, so technically there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, I would say I'm ramping up faster than him for sure, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
You had like a little message for him that you posted on your Instagram story. Do you want to like translate it broadcast friendly?
Broadcast? Well, I would just say I would demolish him kinda, and then I would like one-tap him. Like if I'm boxing, you know, one-tap him.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kinda go one-tapped on mid, I got solo kill this game, so that kinda backfired, yeah, it is what it is.
How do you feel about that? The one-taps in mid?
About the message? Or about what?
About one-tapping him in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I have to punish him for this Instagram story. I don't know. Like, I was really angry.
Really? Did it hurt your feelings? Or was it just, like,
it
out of
hurt my
place?
ego. I have a really fragile ego. So whenever I see these comments, it hurts my soul.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry as well.
Aw, you're such a nice person.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't be
for it.
sorry if I would win, but...
Let's bring this back, though, to when I was interviewing you last week, when GX and G2 were setting up behind us. And I asked you, who did you want to win? You said G2. Why was that?
No, I was just making fun of them. I actually wanted GX to win. I just knew that they were listening to me, you know, so...
So you wanted, like, get a reaction out of him?
Yeah.
And you did react. You didn't
Your
like
direction.
He did get it. But you know what? You guys have both had a really good start of the split of winter regular season. So for you, like, coming in here, how has that been for you, like, starting off and hitting the ground running?
I mean, even for GIANTX, right, it's something new that you start off 4-0, so for sure it feels very good, but now I'm kind of sad that I think we're 4-3, which we kind of fell off already, which is not a good sign, but I'll make sure we get for playoffs ready again.
But then we have you guys on Fnatic, and you guys had such a strong game from literally start to finish. You were tower diving, you were controlling the pace of the game. What's been different between this Fnatic and the Fnatic that we were seeing last year?
I mean, it seems to me that we are not scared to just go for fights. I think a lot of the times last year we were like scared of losing the game when ahead, so we were not doing much because we had like a record of kind of throwing games. So then it became, you know, maybe a bit too much pressure on us. And right now it feels kind of like easy to play aggressive.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much for the interview. Sad that we won't ever see you play on the same team because same role, but it was fun having you both
I
here.
can role swap.
I can also.
When my hands don't work, I go to support. That's fine.
You guys heard it here, but let's head over to the desk. So guys, take it away.
Thank you, Jeannie. Gotta love the hate-love relationship between these two on mid lane. We could have talked about this. We could have talked about Aurora, the first one in the LEC, but she was useless. So.
Oh my God!
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Unintended, of course.
That's the back of my head.
Like GX failed that loss, I feel. But let's talk about support jungle synergy in the early game, because we've talked about what makes Fnatic good. That's one of the best points for them.
Yeah, it was insane because even the early game, straight from level 1, they did something unorthodox with the little swap, Mikyx and Upset laning top. But I thought it was really, I mean, really sad for the top lane brotherhood, you know, when I see Jayce getting pummeled down so hard.
Yeah, I mean, we got clips here. We should just roll with the clips and just show these things as well, because I think this early game was just defined by the fact that Jayce just got the rough end of that stick again and again and again.
And I've been there many times where my support is coming, it's like, hey, I'm coming, I'm almost there, and then you just die, and then the Kai'Sa just gets out of control fed, and it's just so doomed and just snowballed from this point on, because I feel like at some point he just fell 3 levels behind. He's getting dove 3 times this game, and honestly he's playing against the most OP champion in the game, Maokaii. Look at him, he's just sitting there. Oh, he's about to die. Oh, well, he's not about to die anymore. W just so OP, and he couldn't really do much.
He couldn't at all. I mean, I will say that on the other side, Noah was getting an XP lead, but let's show the XP lead right now of the top laners, because I mean, I think that's the one where you just realize how dominant this was. Lot was unable to play the game, like completely. It's not coming up, but I can tell you it was around 8 minutes. It was like 1,400 experience difference, which is like 3 levels. It was incredible. So yeah, got thrown out of the game. Team fights were easier for Fnatic. Upset still performed, so fantastic.
As much as we want to praise Mikyx and Razork for this, it's just the whole preparation makes so much sense, because Jayce cannot really, Jayce is always going to be murdering the Ambessa in the top lane. Ambessa can't really lane. This swap takes her away from the Jayce, gives her 3 levels, 4 levels lead, and at the same time giving solo XP to the Ezreal doesn't really do anything to the economy of the game. Having the Jayce be such a non-factor just makes so much more sense for the game plan of Fnatic.
We have a bit more time here, so I want to spend more time talking about Upset, actually, because we've been mentioning his, I don't want to say glow up, but how he matured within Fnatic with Mikyx and what they've been able to display as a bot lane. One of the best AD carries we have in the league right now. What sets him apart, though?
He's just very consistent, but also very aggressive, which is a little bit weird, because you would not really expect this pairing to go well. I still feel like even in the Schalke days when I was playing with him, he was always considered very, very good, and he always had this natural confidence to himself. I just think that he was a little bit on the unlucky end of the stick, where, you know, he did the funny comment where he's like, I'm too good to never win an LEC title so early in his career, so everyone just jumps on that bandwagon of hating him. But I do feel like every single time, 90% of the times, well, that's not really every single time, but it's close.
Mathing, it's fine.
Yeah, it's EU math, you know. I feel like he's backing up the talk, you know. It's just unfortunate that when you say something so controversial and it doesn't land, it will hit you really hard. And I feel like that's kind of what's been haunting him and what tarnished his reputation. But I still feel like he has not really had any bad splits. He's always been considered very, very good, and he's always played very good.
I mean, he has had a bad split. I mean,
which it was?
I mean, I wouldn't say from an individual standpoint. Actually, I think like in a position where he wasn't able to find much influence as an AD carry, I don't think there's anything wrong with the statement that with what he had, he wasn't pushing the boundaries of like, as you say, he's always been very good at knowing his limits, and I think that's one of his clear-cut strengths. But in a team where the limits can't get pushed by his teammates either, you can't utilize Upset very well. At least that's my opinion after I've seen what's happened from a move from KC to now to Fnatic instead. Like, there was reason to doubt Upset. It did not look good for Upset. There was doubt with him coming into the Fnatic roster, but all those doubts has vanished because he is performing as well as he is. His killer instinct is at a crucial level, because I saw in this game an Upset that was willing to see just Mikyx engage alone and just a Kai'Sa ultimate in on it immediately. And yes, they had soul, yes, they were far ahead, but I really like how much more confident he's feeling with the players around him.
Beautiful. From Fnatic. On the other side of the rift, though, GX. Small question. Are they falling off the way Jayce was potentially describing it? Because super strong first week, still 1 week away from making it to playoffs. If they want to be one of the best teams, they have to beat one of the best teams, and that's not the case today.
I don't think they're really falling off per se. I do feel like they had strength of schedule. Their first week has been 3-0 versus teams that are perceived middle of the pack or bottom of the pack. In that sense, right now they're playing the top teams, and as I said, it's their test to see if they actually belong to be here with the top dogs at the table. And I don't really think they're this 5th, 6th, 7th middle of the pack team. I think they're going to still be top 4, top 5. But Fnatic, K-Corp, Maokaii, they are the super top dogs over here. So it's hard. You need to push your boundaries and excel and get a lot better if you want to sit with them at the table.
Missing a bit of precision from GX to reach that level. We'll see them tomorrow, though. We'll be testing to a quick break. From now, we'll be back for Rogue G2 right after this. Why are you laughing?
Wake.
Wake.
There's the ulti and lands all the way to Kai'Sa. Mikyx here to help out. Oscar flashes away, but solo flare. Mickey, you're so fine.
I think Ranjik is nice. He's very fine. We are fine, guys.
Aurora going. Oh, kill the Aurora. No flash.
I'm ulting Ezreal. I have to base.
Alistar no flash. Finish it.
Wait, is he switching lanes?